Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm back again with another banger, and sadly, it is the end of October. And if you remember, at the beginning of October, I did a 31 Days of Halloween horror movie watch list where I put 31 movies on a chart and put them each day in October. So I would have a movie to watch each day in October as a total of 31. But I added 10 movies that I watched also, so there's a total of 41 movies. And today I'll be ranking them from worst to best. And I love all of these movies, obviously, especially the 31, because I put those on the list to be watched in October because I like them. So if they aren't as high as you think they would be, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't like them. That just means that they're up against a lot of competition because I love all of these movies. And I'm ranking them based off of my experience on this specific watch in October, not my overall love for the movie. Like, it could be my favorite movie of all time, but in October, maybe I didn't have the best watch with it. So it might not be as high on that list, if that makes sense. Obviously, 41 movies is a lot of movies, which means, yeah, I watch a lot of movies. So if you want to keep track with me, go follow me on the Letterboxd. I will put it somewhere on here. You can keep track with my reviews, my list, my watch list, anything, movies that I'm doing. See what I ranked a movie. I'll see what you guys ranked a movie. I'll follow you guys back. So it'll be somewhere on the screen. Go check me out on Letterboxd. But without further ado, let's get right into this list because this might be a long video. For number 41, my least favorite watch of October was The Funhouse Massacre. Now listen, guys, it was fun. I didn't hate the movie, but it was a cheap, kind of campy type of movie. The acting was a little iffy. You know, it was a fun little story, little plot. But it was just a really cheap slasher. There really wasn't nothing to it. The plot didn't go too deep. There wasn't much lore. It was really just, people getting out of prison and doing some slaughtering. And, nothing to hate about it, but it's coming here in last place. At number 40, we have a movie called Halloween Night. And this is just like number 41. You can even flip-flop these. I just put Halloween Night here one spot ahead because it takes place on Halloween night. I like the setting, the vibe of Halloween, obviously fit October, and it's actually a really good plot, good story, but they just didn't have the budget. The acting wasn't there, and it wasn't bad. Didn't hate it, but it wasn't the greatest movie ever. At number 39, we have a movie from this year called Hold Your Breath. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was kind of a snooze fest for me. I honestly forget everything about this movie. Not everything, but I forget a lot of stuff about this movie because, like I said, it was pretty boring. I was almost falling asleep trying to watch it. But, it wasn't terrible. The acting was there. The plot, it was something. It was definitely something. I like the isolation of the setting out in a desert with, no rain during a drought. There's a lot of question marks really to that movie. I think if I rewatched, I might enjoy it a little bit more. But on my first watch, I was left a little unsatisfied and bored for the most part. But Hold Your Breath, it was something. Nothing to hold your breath about. Sorry. 38. I have a surprise coming in for y'all. It is the original Creepshow. I do apologize for the Creepshow fans out there. I know it's honestly kind of like a cult classic, but I have a hot take. I actually like Creepshow 2 more than the original Creepshow. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. But I don't know, maybe I was in a bad mood during this watch, but it kind of made the over-the-top acting and dialogue, it kind of made me angry, like kind of made me mad. I was like, all right, is this movie going to end? Is it going to be over? And, I was hoping for it to be better than what it was. And I went in with too high expectations because I was ready for a nice vibe because I was carving pumpkins while watching it. So I really wanted it to be nice, but I like the fun Halloween-y, setting vibe of the movie. But, everything else, like I said, was kind of making me angry. But overall, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it's coming here in spot 38. So sorry if you're a Creepshow fan. Spot 37, we have Quarantine. the zombie movie. If you haven't watched it, it might be a little bit more low key, but essentially it's people getting trapped in a building and zombies start eating people. Essentially, like that's pretty much the plot. So it's fun. It's not terrible. You know, it was a low budget movie. The acting isn't the best. It's a cool, fun little watch. You know, it's a short little movie. Found footage. It's a found footage. I'm not the biggest fan of found footage. I think I'm right in the middle. I mean, not the biggest fan, don't hate it. But this movie, it was fun. I mean, nothing to hate about it, nothing really to like about it, but I'm not the biggest zombie fan, not the biggest fan of zombie movies, to be honest. So it's, that's no surprise that it's this low in the list, but no, it was fun. I had fun with it, but it wasn't the greatest. At number 36, we have The Village, and this is so sad. I was really hoping I would like this movie more because, like I said in my October watch list, this is the first horror movie I watched, even though I didn't really watch it when I was young and it was first turned on. But it was the first horror movie I was exposed to, and first horror movie I heard about. Either that or The Ring. I think The Village did come first, though, for me. And I was really hoping to love it because of that reason. You know, it'd be sick to love your first horror movie. And also, my mom and grandpa turned it on for me, so that's just like a nice little nostalgic piece. So I was really hoping to like it, but I wasn't the biggest fan. You know, M. Night coming in with you know, a twist. He loves to twist it up, but I don't think the twist was too crazy. I mean, you kind of saw it coming, but you know, it didn't really have too much of a scare factor. It was kind of just like I don't know, it kind of felt like a silly little movie to me. You know, I like the setting, village in the middle of the woods. And I didn't really know if they were going for like when does this take place? Because it seemed at the end when she makes it to the other side, we'll say, there's like technology and like a nice like Ford pickup truck. And I'm like, does this take place back in the day or modern times? I don't know, but it was fun. I didn't hate it, but it's The Village. At number 35, we're coming in with When a Stranger Calls. And the opening scene is obviously one of the greatest in all of horror. And I think that got me too excited the first time I watched it. And I was really excited to watch it again. I thought I really loved this movie, but I think I just overlooked that middle set of scenes, the second act, if you will. It's just like a random crime chase scene for like, I want to say like 45 minutes in between with a good ending and a good beginning, I feel like. But if that middle was better, the overall movie would be way better. But it kind of ruins it. I wouldn't say it ruins it, but the only reason it's so high in this list is because that opening scene is just, might be my favorite ever, actually. And like, as I said, as the October watch list, is why I put that as my favorite opening scene. But I think I did overhype the movie as a whole the first time, and I was a little disappointed on my rewatch. At number 34, we're coming in with a movie from 2023 called Cobweb. And I was really excited to watch this because it has a nice Halloween vibe. Pumpkins everywhere. Trailer, pumpkins, carving pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns. And the movie itself, I called the twist, you know, probably 5 minutes into the movie, you could really tell what's going on. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, once you watch a lot of horror movies, you're going to be able to tell, so you can't really be mad about that. But it was just, I feel like they did such a good job up until the third act. I don't know what they were going for in the creature, the villain. I don't really know where they're going with that, and I don't know why we were led so far that the parents were bad. And I'm trying not to spoil anything, so I don't want to say too much, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm saying, with the parents are portrayed as being evil, but they're really not. And it's just like, what are you going for? I don't think they stuck the landing. It's a good idea, but I like the vibe, I like the setting. Great acting, but it didn't really work for me. Number 33, this might be a hot take, because I know people actually love this, but we have Speak No Evil. And this was one that I was actually pretty excited because of the marketing. You couldn't go to sleep without a marketing agent from Speak No Evil coming into your room and shoving an iPad in your face to make you watch the trailer 5 times an hour. You couldn't get away from this thing, man. Everyone has seen the full trailer, I'm sure. I tried to get away from it because I don't like to watch trailers because sometimes they ruin it. But anyway, when I got to the actual movie, I really liked the setup and I was loving where it was going until I'd say the end of the second act and the third act, when it was the decision making. I couldn't get past the terrible decision making and the lack of intelligence. It really just made me mad. And it's like, I know horror, obviously, people have to make bad decisions to get into the scenarios that they're in so they survive, so it's a movie. But some of these were just over the top, and it's just like, it's just not happening. Like, no, people are escaping that scenario. And I've never actually seen the original, so, that might be a better movie. But overall, 2 out of the 3 acts, I really liked it. I was ready to give it like a 5-star, but it really got taken down by that third act, and I just couldn't get over the unintelligence, and then they were stupid. At number 32, we have Session 9. And this is one of the movies that I wish I had more time to do a second watch. I feel like you are just going to unlock many, many more things on the second watch. And I really did enjoy this movie. I think it has a nice creepy vibe. Looking over this abandoned psychiatric hospital. And then I liked how they added lore. I love when horror movies explore their own lore and, the sitting by a fire saying the stories of the villain or the past, the history behind the horrorness, the scariness of the building object or whatever it is, the person. And I love when they do that. So I really did enjoy that lore. The ending, a lot of these is actually a common theme. I'm not a big fan of all these endings. It was one of the ones where I feel like I would enjoy it more when I rewatch it. And that's why I put it, not in the worst spot on this list. I put it up a little bit because I really did enjoy it. It was great acting, great plot. I really liked everything, but the ending, I feel like it was just so sped up. Like they could have spent more time really going into the ending. I just felt like it was like boom, boom, dead, dead, dead ending. Like, and then we were just left there, curtains shut, and we're just looking around like, what's going on? So, I did watch it on a TV, so there were no curtains. So yeah. At number 31, we have All Hallows Eve. And yeah, on paper, this isn't the greatest movie, but it just has such a nostalgic piece to me because I've become such a great fan of anything with Art the Clown, as you guys already know, and you'll see later on this list. I have just such a great appreciation for All Hallows Eve, even though Art the Clown it raises question marks for later in the franchise, but we know, they didn't have the budget. David Howard Thornton wasn't yet playing Art the Clown, so it wasn't as good of a movie, but I think it's a nice, creepy piece to watch around October. I really do think it's nice. If you go into it knowing what it is, knowing it's a low budget anthology movie that kind of like how Trick or Treat does it, where it's an anthology, but it all comes together in the end. And I do like how they weren't afraid to cross boundaries in this original movie, or not the original, no, they're short films, but in the All Hallows Eve anthology, they weren't afraid to cross lines that they still aren't afraid to cross today. And I really like that about this franchise. And just for that, and just for the lore, just for what came after, and for the nostalgic piece, I have to put All Hallows Eve at a decent spot here. At number 30, we have The Skeleton Key. And this was my second watch going in for this. And I really do enjoy it. I do enjoy this movie. It's just, it's different. It's definitely different. I really love how unique this is and how it goes into voodoo practices and those type of things. I think that was really interesting. And there was a really nice twist that I actually did not see coming. It definitely blindsided me. So I'm not going to say too much because if you haven't seen it, go experience that twist for yourself. It is fun, but there's like 2 twists actually. Like it first twisted and I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Then it twisted again and I was like, wow, okay. I was blindsided. I really do enjoy this movie, but there's just so many more on this list. So many great movies, like I said, that it just can't move up. And I don't hear this movie being talked about too much, so I really think it should have more hype than it does. But it's a great, fun movie, and if you haven't seen it, I really do recommend you go watch it. Number 29, we have The House is October Built. And this movie just is one of the first horror movies I've watched. And I just fell in love with it, and I've loved it ever since, even though it's a found footage. I'm not the biggest fan, but this is actually one of my favorites in the subgenre. And I really love haunted house attraction horror movies, and I love this one for sure. I think the nostalgicness kind of blinds me from how bad the movie is per se. You know, the acting it's something, but it's a found footage movie. That's usually what you get from that. But I enjoy it, and I have fun with it every time. I watch it every October, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to watch a Halloween October time movie. So I'm still going to recommend that for you. But the only reason it's this low on the list is, like I said, there's so many other great movies out there. But not All Hallows Eve. The House is October Built will always be a special place in my heart, about right here. Yeah. At number 28, we have Sleepaway Camp. And this was a spot that I put in my 31 Days of October for my favorite ending in a horror movie. The shock value on that was just so amazing. I love showing other people this movie, and I don't even watch the ending. I just like to look at their reaction to the ending, because it's honestly just so funny. Like, their face is always like, oh, they went there. They went there. That's what they did. And that ending just alone, like, obviously low budget movie, campy movie. It can't be taken too seriously, and it's a whodunit. And we know who is the killer the whole time, but the ending still shocks you because of what they do. And just thinking about it right now,
What?
great ending every time. And I would put it higher, but as you know, there's other great movies, and also the low budgetness kind of brings you back to reality. Every now and again, you'll be watching and be like, wow, we've come a long way. That is a thought that pops in my head while watching this movie a lot. And somehow yet they go very downhill with the franchise after this, but that's a story for a different day. At number 27, we have Trick or Treat from 1986, I believe, not to be confused with Trick or Treat from 2009. This is the movie that I talked about on my 31 Days of Halloween, about the rock star that was able to be summoned by spinning his record backwards after he passed away. And I just think that's such a fun idea, and it's great fun, even though the acting it's iffy, but it isn't terrible. So it's definitely watchable, definitely a fun movie to see. And the October vibe, the Halloween vibe, really brings it together for me. I think it's really fun. I mean, they have a school dance going on in October, like a Halloween school dance. They got jack-o'-lanterns. It's just really a fun movie, and the suspense is really built. And by the end, you're like, how is he going to escape this situation? Like, it's man versus undead, and that's not an easy task to overcome. But I really do enjoy this movie, and it is definitely a sleeper. I did not know about this movie until I did, which was too late. Watched it about a few months ago, and I've seen it twice now, and it's definitely a classic for me now. So there it is. At number 26, we have Hotel Transylvania 2. Now, the story behind how I ended up watching this fun little movie was it was the day before Halloween, and I was looking for something to do, and all I had access to was Netflix, I think. So that's how it happened. I just watched I watched this and the second one. I've already seen the first one beforehand, but I have not seen the second one, and it was fun. It was great. I had a good time with it. I was laughing more than I probably should have been, but great Halloween vibe, obviously. Hotel full of monsters, and it's just a fun children's movie. So if you ever looking to show a horror movie, it's not, but a Halloween themed monster movie to some kids, this is definitely one to show them. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's probably one of the biggest out there for kids, but it's great fun, and no problem with it. But it's fun. That's the summary. It's a very fun movie. At number 25, we have Misery, and you might be thinking this is coming in lower than what you would put it, but I think where I made the mistake was putting Misery on my October watch list when it takes place in the winter and there's snow and the vibes, they weren't matching. They weren't matching. All right. They weren't hitting on each other. So it was a little strange. I mean, not that it was strange, still a great movie, but I was looking for October Halloween vibes, and I put Misery on the list. So that's honestly my fault. It'd probably be higher on this list, but great movie. Definitely one of the top horror movies ever. And, brutal ankle scene, got to mention it every single time. But it's great. Nothing wrong with it. Just watched it in the wrong time of the year. At number 24, we have Hush, Mike Flanagan's home invasion movie. Probably my favorite home invasion movie. We have a deaf woman, trying to escape an intruder. And it's just fun, and it's a lot of action. Great fun action scenes done very well. And just at points you're just there's so much tension, like you're locked in. You're just gripping the seat, you're staring. This is one of the movies that you just really get locked into. And it's not the scariest movie ever, but a home invasion, that doesn't really scare me per se. I like the movies that do scare me. And this one, it doesn't scare me that much, but I do love it. I think it's very fun. See, I keep them scissors on me just in case someone want to try to break in or something.
Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
But Hush, great fun. Coming in here at number 24. Number 23, we have the original Terrifier. And this might be another one where I'm blinded from nostalgia, but it does have David Howard Thornton in it, and this is his first appearance as Art the Clown. And he just does such an amazing job and just always makes me laugh. Like in that diner scene when he's just doing all these funny poses and whatever, man. I just love this movie. I mean, the plot is so simple, so it's really, it's one of those movies you might want to watch when you're just chilling, maybe in the background, because you really don't need to indulge yourself in this, because it's literally a killer clown movie, and that's all you got to say about it. And it's so fun, and we could have never guessed the movies that come after it, and those will be on this list later. But Terrifier is just, I'll always love it. At number 22, we have Sinister. Some call this the scariest movie of all time, and this will be popping in a future video for a little. Check it out when it comes out. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I love the movie. It does such a good job at having these tapes just creep you out. These Super 8 tapes. The acting is great, other than, I forget her name. I call her the Skylar of horror movies. But his wife in the movie, she's the only thing that even sets this movie back. I don't think her acting was the greatest, and I wasn't a big fan of her character. She kind of annoyed me. But other than that, it's literally almost a perfect movie. They even had the cheap jump scare at the end. But yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, there's no complaints about it other than Skylar of horror movies. But Sinister coming in here at 22. At number 21, we have Halloween Season of the Witch. And as you guys know, this is the movie in the Halloween franchise that does not include Michael Myers. And the first time I watched it, I was not interested because there was no Michael Myers. But when I finally tuned in, I realized this was a banger. So I had to put it on my October watch list because it just has the vibes for Halloween. Literally, trick-or-treaters, trying to defeat a killer mask that is produced, and it does some witchy woo stuff to kill its victims. And it's just such a fun movie, and really builds a lot of tension. You are just you kind of feel like you're in the movie, trying to figure out this mystery, trying to figure out how you can solve it, and if you even can. And it's just really such a fun October movie, and I love it a lot. At number 20, we have Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And this is, I think it's tied as my favorite Friday the 13th movie, maybe with the 2009 remake. I really like this one. I love how they stopped trying to take themselves so seriously and realized that these Friday the 13th movies were kind of goofy. And so they kind of just went all in and had that Frankenstein spin kind of with, Jason coming back to life. And I like how they finally brought back a character that we can like, a character, not just making a whole new set of characters each and every movie because there's no one to connect to. But with Tommy Jarvis, we have someone to love, someone to follow, someone we can root for. And that's just a recipe that comes together perfectly in this movie. And Jason is menacing, scary, and this is an amazing movie and maybe one of my favorites in the franchise. So it was a great watch. At number 19, we have a brand new movie. I actually watched this like a week ago. It is Apartment 7A. So this is a prequel to Rosemary's Baby, and Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I really love it. I love just the sense of dread slowly built throughout. And I like how they finally, a lot of demon movies are done so poorly, like Son of the Devil movies. I am not a fan of most of them, but I think this one is the best to do it. Better than The Omen, in my opinion. I really like this movie, and I was so excited when they announced the prequel, and it took me a while to actually watch it. But once I finally did, I thought it was a nice prequel that kind of feels like just a remake, honestly. But I guess it's a cycle that continues in the apartment, so I guess it's a prequel. But it does a great job at capturing the time in which they were going for, and to create a sense of dread from the beginning when the dancer goes down, and then it's just downhill from there. And it's a great movie. I'm a big fan. Got my cat in here, y'all. What a guy. All right, here we go. Time to rip the Band-Aid off. You guys are gonna kill me for this. I'm gonna have to lock my doors when I go to sleep at night after releasing this opinion. But here we go. At number 18, we have Alien. It's my first time watching it, and I know Alien is, for some of you, the greatest movie of all time, and I did enjoy it. But I love all of these movies, and that's why it's coming in at 18 and not 1, not 2, not 3, not top 5, because it's competing with all of my favorite movies ever. And, not ever, but all my favorite October type of movies, and it was thrown in October because I wanted to watch it for the first time, because it's a movie I have not watched, and I did like it. I thought it was great, but I'm not the biggest fan of alien movies, of sci-fi horror movies, and maybe I have to watch Aliens to really, I haven't watched that yet, so maybe I have to watch Aliens to really appreciate the both of them together, and I heard Aliens is even better, so I'm excited. I thought it was a great movie, but I wasn't the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest alien sci-fi type of guy, and I think it lived up to the hype, but it wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen. So I'm sorry, guys. Number 17, we have Hotel Transylvania. And like I said earlier, I was looking for something to watch. Day before Halloween, I knew how to watch something, and Hotel Transylvania seemed fun. So I watched it again, so I've already seen it before, and it was fun. I loved it. It's a nice, fun kids movie. If you're looking for a little monster movie to show to some kids, Hotel Transylvania is perfect. It's fun. I also laughed at this more than I probably should have, but I'm not ashamed to say that. Great vampire movie, great monster movie. And I actually didn't know Adam Sandler was the voice behind Drac until probably the second movie. I was like, wait, is that Adam Sandler? So shout out Adam Sandler. At number 16, we have The Lost Boys. And this is one of my favorite vampire movies. I think it is so fun. It does such a good job at capturing, what is that 80s vibe, that carnival time. I really love the location, Cali. It really does a great job at just showing, exploring how when young people move into a new town, it's kind of hard to fit in. And sometimes you get stuck in the wrong crowds, and sometimes the wrong crowds are vampires, and they try to ruin your life. And that's just something you got to learn to live with. But it's a very fun movie, and I love the comedy side too. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It goes back to all the vampire cliches. They got the garlic. They got all the nighttime. They're sleeping in a cave like bats. Can't see himself in the mirror. Stake through the heart. All that. All those cliches, and those are just so fun. I love, like I said, I love when the horror movies bring lore, and they're bringing vampire lore into it. And I just think it's such a fun movie, and it's watched it like 4 times now, and I'll watch it again. Amazing movie. The Lost Boys is fire. At number 15, we have Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I put this on my Halloween movie watch list for my horror comedy movie. And surprisingly, there was another horror comedy that beat it out for me. But I love this movie. I've watched it many, many times. And it's just a fun movie that adds romance into comedy, into horror. And it's just such a fun little movie. Like, you just sit down, have a few laughs, just chill and watch Tucker and Dale go to work, man. And Dale is just such a fun, loving person that you just love this character. He just instantly, you just connect with this guy, and you're like, I want this guy to win. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Go watch it if you haven't. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is up there. It is amazing. At number 14, again, may offend some of you as having it this low, even though this is literally like the front third percentile of all movies on this list. But at number 14, we have The Exorcist. And this was my first time watching this movie, surprisingly, and it lived up to the hype. I loved it. And I actually do like when they do possession exorcist movies. I like when they are done correctly. And, you know, there's a lot of cheap PG-13 movies that have been created that have really ruined the reputation of exorcist movies or possession movies or demon movies, like I said earlier with Apartment 7A. But Exorcist just does a great job. And I really like it a lot, even though it gets a bit silly with the rated R language that is said in the bedroom in about the third act by Reagan. But I mean, nothing to ruin the movie, just a little silly, like honestly to make you laugh. And that's why I definitely do not think this is the scariest movie of all time, which is probably the most popular opinion, that this is the scariest movie of all time. But in my opinion, no, not at all. I think I laughed more than was scared in this, but I do think it's a great movie and done very well. And also the lore with the item, the symbol, the cursed object. I do like that. Obviously, I like lore. So great movie, great first time watching. I'll have to watch it again to learn some more about it. At number 13, we have another fun horror. I wouldn't say horror, but it's a Halloween comedy. At number 13, we have Hubie Halloween. And I have a love-hate relationship with this movie, as I mentioned, I think in my last video. But I watched it the first time, absolutely hated it, never wanted to watch it again. But I went to Salem. Let's see, bring the shirt up. I went to Salem and learned that it was filmed there. I didn't know that beforehand, even when I had watched it. And when I was there, I decided to rewatch it, and I liked it way more. And then on Halloween, I got the urge to watch it again. So I've watched this movie 3 times, and each time I watch it, I love it more and more. And the vibes of Salem and Halloween in October are off the charts. It might be one of the strongest vibes for that time of the year in any movie, and that's why I love it so much. It holds just such a special place in my heart. And even though I hated it at first, I kept rewatching it, and I really love it. Adam Sandler's voice made me so mad the first time. I was like, this is so annoying. But you know, you start to learn to love it. And a lot of fun, like all these fun A-list celebrity actors that are in this movie. Very expensive to make, but it was worth it. It's great. It's on Netflix. I'm telling you guys, if you hate this movie, watch it a second time. Give it another chance. Give it a third chance. Give it a second, third, fourth chance. It gets better each and every time. And I'm glad I rewatched it to learn that. And it's moved up my list. I would have never thought I would be putting Hubie Halloween at number 13. At number 12, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. In this movie, I heard it was great, and I watched it years ago, when I was real little, and I remember nothing about it. So I threw it on my 31 Days of October to finally watch this movie and see what it was all about. I liked it a lot. I really did. It was great. I love the just dirty griminess of the setting, the vibe, the location, the meat hangers. It was just, you really wanted to take a shower during this movie. You were like, ugh, like you thought you stank for a second. Yeah, that just shows how strong of an influence this movie has to, if you really indulge and lock yourself into this movie, you feel like you're in it. You feel so dirty just from watching it. Like, it feels illegal to watch. And it's just those type of movies that are interactive, essentially, is a great watch every time. So it was fun and I liked it a lot. At number 11, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. This is highly celebrated. People love it. I might even get hate for having it at 11, even though that is very high. But, it is what it is. I liked it. As always, I watched it before. It's first or second favorite in the franchise. I'm not the biggest fan of Freddy Krueger. He's probably my least favorite out of the big three. Maybe I lied. I don't know. Those switch every day. But yeah, I definitely lied. Those switch every day. Don't even listen to me. Great movie. The fantastical part, the way it's put in such a unicorn rainbow. I wouldn't say rainbow, but then just say a fantasy world. And it's I wouldn't say scary, but it's definitely eerie. It's definitely grimy. You're trying to escape these situations with these kids in the psychiatric hospital. And just a great idea for a third movie. Just a great way to attack this franchise. And it really revived it from that second movie, which I feel was very boring. But Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors is a fire movie. At number 10, we have Maxine. And this movie also came out this year. It actually might be a little controversial to have it this high in the list, but I love the X trilogy. I love what Ty West did with this trilogy. It came out of nowhere. 2022 dropped 2 out of the 3 movies, and then this year dropped Maxine. And some people didn't like it, but I feel it was a great conclusion to the trilogy, even though the whodunit aspect wasn't really there, because we really did know who it was. And well, that's on your second time, of course. The first time, people did say they knew it from rip, but I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but I really didn't anticipate that until probably at least 30 minutes in. But it's easy to tell if you really were thinking about it. I guess I wasn't thinking about it. Forget all that. I love the movie. I thought it did a great job. The badassness, that's the word I'm going to use here for Maxine. You can't deny it. She's just one of those characters. She has implemented herself as an icon. Mia Goth is a great actor, just taking over horror right now these days, going absolutely insane in each and every role. She takes it over. She is an incredibly talented actress. It is actually kind of crazy, especially in Pearl. That is Oscar right there, Oscar material. But I love the movie. And actually, Maxine, I enjoy more than X. Doesn't quite beat Pearl, but if I did have to rank the 3 movies, it would be X, Maxine, and Pearl. And I love all 3 of them. All 3 are 5 out of 5 movies to me. But I really enjoyed Maxine. It's coming here at number 10. At number 9, we have Terrifier 2. And everyone loves this movie. I haven't heard too many people hate on this movie. It is amazing. A very great surprise after the first Terrifier. And as you know, I love Art the Clown, so I had to throw this up here. And I actually watched this 3 times in October, which is actually kind of insane because it's a 2.5 hour movie. But it is just such an amazing October movie, and it is pretty creepy. Art the Clown is a creepy ass dude, and he also makes you laugh, what doesn't make any sense. And you can't deny things like that. It's just such a great film. The lore is so strong in these movies. I think that is why I enjoy them so much, because as you know, I love lore. Sienna Shaw is a wonderful final girl. One of the greatest of all time. She's kind of moving up there. She's pretty tough, but amazing movie. And I watched it 3 times. I mean, that should speak for itself. At number 8, we have Halloween Town. We're coming in here with a Disney movie, a kids movie. As you know, I love this movie. It is not horror. It is not scary. It is just a fun Halloween time movie. and I found a way to sneak it onto my horror movie watch list for October, and that just shows how much I love it. This is one of my favorite movies ever. I just love it so much. It just really brings me to the October Halloween time. I love that time of the year. It has amazing vibes, and I've watched it probably 20 times by now. And it's just no surprise that's coming in here at number 8. At number 7, we have Haunt. As you know, I love Halloween haunted house attraction films, and this is the one I think does it the best. I think this is the best Halloween haunted attraction movie. It's a little fun, and then there's some pretty scary masks, actually pretty scary character designs in this movie, which I think is overlooked, and it doesn't go too deep into lore, which I wish it did just a little bit more if they were able to go into maybe a little backstory, but I don't know, maybe that would have ruined the movie. Maybe we don't want that. I enjoy this movie so much, and I've watched it many, many times. It is also one of my favorite movies of all time. That's why I put it on the Halloween movie watch list, and it was especially fun this year because I watched this movie right before I went to a haunted attraction. So I just made it more fun, and I watched it with some friends, and it was fun to see them getting creeped out before we went to the haunted attraction, and they thought they were going to die, and that's always fun. So it was a great movie, great watch, and I love this movie. Haunt is amazing. At number 6, we have Long Legs, and this movie came out this year, and this is a surprise because it also has, like Misery, a snowy winter feel to the movie, and that I was just able to overlook by how much I love this movie. I've watched it twice now, and it does a great job at building a sense of dread throughout this movie. You follow the story of this detective trying to figure out a mystery of these murders, and it having maybe a connection to a cult, and you just feel just dread closing in on you as you're watching this movie. And the way the shots are filmed is just so creepy. Has one of the greatest opening scenes also, which can't love that. It is just, I can't stress enough how important it is for a horror movie to have a good opening scene that has you locked, that has you like, whoa, where is this going? How does this come back into play? And the opening scene in Long Legs, just, it all comes full circle, and it's amazing. Amazing ending also, amazing movie. At number 5, we have Idle Hands, and this was my biggest, funnest surprise of my October watch list. I put this on the movie I haven't seen yet because I knew it had great Halloween vibes, great October vibes, and it was a horror comedy, and I love horror comedies. Who doesn't love horror comedies? And this one might actually just take the cake for my favorite horror comedy now. It is just such a unique idea, and spin off of the demonic possession in a fun way, with it taking over a hand, and then he has to fight his own hand, and that's just such a unique idea, and it was so fun and funny. It was like that, like 2010s type of comedy feel. You know, a lot of play on the stoner jokes, on the weed jokes, and you know, these teenagers just slumming around doing nothing. And I just thought it was so funny. Like, we have a kid smoking weed out of his inhaler for asthma, and that's just so goofy. Like, I've never seen something like that. That is something that had me laughing in itself. But just everything, the way it plays off each other, the way these kids play off each other, and it has just such a fun October feel with the kids coming back to life and kind of being sort of like undead zombies in a way. But still human, still able to make jokes and smoke weed. That it's just funny. It's amazing, and I'm happy I finally watched it. It has moved up my list, and it is probably going to be a classic for me now. At number 4, we have Trick or Treat from 2009. Not Trick or Treat, as I mentioned earlier. This is the anthology movie, and I love this movie because it has such a strong Halloween vibe. It takes place on Halloween night, and not only does it have one Halloween story, it has 4 Halloween stories capturing different vibes, different sections of this city or in this world, and different characters that all are integrated into Halloween, and that all loop back into the character of Sam. As you know, Sam is everywhere. You can't escape. You can't escape Sam. You can't escape Sam. There's no escaping Sam. Sam's everywhere. I love this movie though. The first time I was like, you know, I'm not the biggest anthology guy, but The vibes cannot be denied, and I love how it loops together. Just like in All Hallows Eve, I love when they're able to loop together all anthologies, and it's actually hard to do to make it make sense, but they do such a good job at looping it together and just creating one movie and a great opening scene, a great movie. We are in the top 3, ladies and gentlemen. You can probably guess what's coming if you just do a little bit of thinking. But at number 3, we have Scream. Now, as you know, Scream is one of my favorites, and you're probably asking yourself, why is it at number 3? Well, I didn't have the greatest time watching it. It was kind of on in the background. You know, I've seen it 20 times. I know everything about it. And, but I love it. And I wanted to give an opportunity to other movies on this list to move ahead because Scream had its time. Y'all know I love Scream. Check out the channel. Check out the card. Maybe I'll put it up there. But, Scream's an amazing movie. I mean, y'all know my opinions on Scream. It's great. I don't know if that's in the camera, but come on now. I love Scream. I love me a little Ghostface. At number 2, we have John Carpenter's Halloween. And I'm probably going to be assassinated for not putting this at number 1, but I do apologize. It is amazing. What can I say that has not already been said about Halloween? It shaped the horror genre. It shaped everything, in all honesty. Most things. I'm not going to give it all the credit for everything, but it shaped the horror genre, the slasher subgenre, especially. Amazing movie. And there's just such a connection when you watch it, especially on Halloween night, like I try to do every year. Such a connection, such a vibe of watching Halloween on Halloween that I had to put it up here in top 2. It's amazing, and I love it so much. I've watched it 100 times. I'll watch it 100 more times. Halloween, y'all know. Great movie. At number 1. We have Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 is coming in at number 1. That is very impressive for a Christmas movie in the month of October to come out as my favorite. But I had so much fun watching this. I was able to watch it in the theaters, which might be why it is separated from these other movies, because this might be actually the only one I watched in theaters out of all of these. So, you know, that might make a little difference, but it was the greatest experience I had in the theaters. I was laughing my ass off. If you've seen my Terrifier 3 video, maybe put that up there in a card or something, but I had so much fun watching it, and especially when Art meets Santa. I'm going to say it again. It's one of my favorite scenes ever, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I actually watched this twice because I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it on Halloween night with my friends, which was just such a great experience to be able to show them Art the Clown and to see their reactions to some of the stuff that happened. It was pretty fun. Just watching them kind of in shock and then also disgusted and then laughing their ass off when Art does some funny shit in the next 5 seconds. But I love this movie. Y'all know this movie's great. And I love the lore, continues the lore. You know I love lore and movies. Terrifier 3 coming in at number 1. Yes, indeed. Well, that's going to do it, y'all. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you, man. I don't know how you did it. Actually, I like you, man. You know what? I love you. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know your favorite movie you watched this October, and if there were any movies that I should have watched in October. Let me know why I put your favorite movie in the wrong spot, and I do apologize. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or every single villain from every single one of these movies will be under your bed. I am sorry. That is just the rules. You better do it. All jokes aside, thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Peace.